So Avi, originally from Bangladesh, but he's actually living in Finland right now, where he immigrated in 2018. He was before a program and project manager, okay? And he has a bachelor's degree in accounts and finance, a master's in development studies, like very different to what you're doing today in some ways. And I think something that really surprised me that you put it this way was that your education, your degree kind of felt really useless for the market in which you are today, which is, all this software engineering world. And then the pandemic hit and you decided to change your life and get into Microverse. So Avi joined Microverse in 2020 in August, a few months after the pandemic was, changing our lives all around the world. And Avi finished the program in around 8 months and got his first job actually the day that he finished the program, more or less the following day. But we'll talk more about that. But I'm gonna stop myself here, and then I'll let Avi do all the talking. So let me start with the question, which is, Avi, how did you get into coding?
Actually, I always wanted to do programming, but I mean, due to some circumstances, I couldn't. When I finished my bachelor degree, and then my grades were not that good in case of bachelor degree because of some issues at the time. Then it was a common conception that I'm not a good student, but when I did my master's, it was like perception completely changed because my CGPA in my master's degree was like a huge, it was, I did that study very seriously, but it was always in my mind that, okay, I need to do something that I can be comfortable I can express myself without having self-doubt. I didn't know what I'm getting into, but at the time I thought that, okay, it would be nice to somehow it would be nice to work in a sector where I can quantify what I am doing rather than all those hypothetical things and whether my work has any kind of impact on the society or whatever I'm doing is worth doing. Just rather than creating hypothesis about it, I just wanted to see that, okay, I'm doing something and it is transpiling instantly into something visible, something that I can relate to, and something that I can I can associate with. I can relate. I can. I feel comfortable doing that. So I always wanted to be in software development, but at the time when I was young, I couldn't plan my educational map the way I would have planned right now. At that time, I was just looking for something that, okay, this is the fastest way to finish this. This is the fastest way to get a job and things like that. But I didn't have. There are lots of people. I have lots of respect for those people who actually move forward in life with a concrete plan. But when I was young, probably my brain didn't used to work the way it does, so I missed the opportunity of plan my career. Rather, I went with the flow. So it was always in my mind that, okay, I want to work in a software development industry or in a program, or I want to become a programmer. And also, in my last job that I did in Bangladesh, so it was one of the multinational company, and I was doing graphics design and motion graphics design and creating all those digital content. At the time, I had to work with a lot of programmers and things like that. So I used to wonder, okay, how fascinating their world is, the way they talk, the things that they do, and they're so excited about the things that they're doing all the time. So I wanted to have that kind of same feeling that, okay, rather than, okay, I'm not downplaying anything or I'm not downgrading any work. Every work is important, but those are the things that I was more interested in. Somehow I found that, okay, rather than doing what I am doing right now, I really want to be on that side of the world. And I'm not, yeah, right now I'm talking a lot, but I'm not a very expressive person, and I like to stay alone most of the time. So this is the perfect place for me to spend my time, my creativity, and all this other stuff, whatever I have. This is the perfect position where that allows me to be who I am. So it was always in my mind, but I didn't have the chance, or I didn't have the what can I say, understanding to pursue that when I was when I was quite young.
And what was the first step to say, hey, let's learn something about coding? Was it directly Microverse, or you started with other resources,
Uh,
courses?
Yeah, I actually, before joining Microverse, I had a pretty decent understanding about HTML, CSS, and I was also, I mean, doing extensive vanilla JavaScript. But like, I mean, there, as I was, discussing with you before, because I mean, oh, this is a crazy world. I mean, it is full with so much information, and you get distracted every single day if you don't have any idea what you want to pursue or what you want to learn. So before I joined Microverse, I was one day I was doing Vue, another day I'm doing vanilla JavaScript, another day I was like, okay, I need to learn Python or something like that, otherwise there is no way I can get a job.
That's the story, the life story of almost everybody teaching themselves how to code. There's just so many things to learn,
So
and
many.
the world and the articles and everything makes you believe that you need to know all of that, right? Because all of that is necessary now. And then I always say, just pick one thing and get really good at that. And there are jobs for anything, but you need to be good at that one thing that you choose, right? So instead of being a master of none, it's much better to like be a master of just one thing, right? So I'm glad you decided to change the approach. So how did that happen, right? Like how did you um, at which point you said I need a different approach, and how did you find Microverse back then?
Yeah. So uh, I was talking to one of this guy online, and I mean, he used to be in my language class, and he was a programmer, right? So and at that time, as I was doing HTML, CSS, and like JavaScript, I was thinking that okay, I know at least a little bit of programming in order to apply for jobs. And then when I was discussing the potential future, or potential career with that person, and he was spitting, random words like okay, Webpack and Grant and like Gulp and things like that, and I was like, okay, there is no way that I have heard one of this word in my entire lifetime. So if I am so whatever I'm doing right now is absolutely pointless. Maybe in case of getting your basics done, it might learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript works. But in case of becoming a pro, or if you want to go into the professional world of web development, then you have to know Webpack or things like that. There, or at least get familiarized yourself with those kind of tools. Like I never heard of Git or GitHub before, but then when I realized that okay, what are the things that I'm missing, so I thought that okay, I mean, I have to change my approach, and I have to know, or I have to come up with a structure that will allow me to acquire all of those skills. And also, I mean, it is super important. Like if some there were plenty of tutorials out there, and they will tell you the roadmap to become like software developer, and they said that okay, you need to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then there is another framework, then you are a front-end developer, or maybe with Node.js you are a full stack developer. But they will never tell you the importance of GitHub, Webpack, Babel, and understanding all of those things, which actually makes a difference. These are the tools that you have to work uh, in your job every day, in almost every project. So I think I really wanted to find a place where I'll be able to learn all of those stuff, and they will come give me a framework or a structure that okay, if you follow like these are the tools, or at least will cover those tools that are absolutely essential for you to do some do a decent job in your at your job place.
How at which point did Microverse, like, was it like a Facebook ad or a friend, or how did you come across Microverse?
Actually, I mean, I have received, I was not seeking for Microverse, to be honest. Like, I have received an email from Microverse that, okay, this is, there is the school, online school. And I was, at first I was I was thinking, oh, okay, so the way I have discovered is that I was searching for similar type of a school that is out there online. So I got this school called Lambda, right? Like I am sure that most of people knows what Lambda school is. But like then I was searching for that and their registration process and stuff like that. And with the recommendation, I think that I have found Microverse, that okay, there are similar kind of schools out there. So then I got a mail from Microverse, and then I thought that okay, and I saw the website of Microverse, and I saw the ISA and all this other stuff, how it works and things like that. So then I decided, okay, this is the best place for me to apply and take a chance.
What I don't know how many people are familiar with Lambda School, but it's really popular in the US. But I don't know, I mean, if you remember why you decided to apply to Microverse and not to Lambda School.
Because I mean, because they were not very international at that point. Like probably they were taking students from US or like at that part of the area, but like they were not that wholesome. I mean, school that is taking students from all around the world. On the other hand, Microverse is taking students from all around the world. It doesn't matter what continent you are from, like Africa and India. There are lots of people from Mexico, and it is also offering different time zones. So I thought this was the best place for me to, start my learning journey, I guess.
It's something we are really proud of, and it's very intentional on our side, right? On one hand, it's our belief that there are people all around the world that deserve access to better opportunities in life, and there are people that are already being served with opportunities in the US, in Europe, but there are so many people in Latin America, in Africa, in Asia that are so disconnected from those opportunities, and our goal was to create a model to be able to help those kind of people, right? But at the same time, the way to help them was to give them a difference that other students like wouldn't have, which is the experience of working with people from all parts of the world. So when they join a remote job, they already know how to work as part of an international team. And it's very intentional, and we have done that. And as of today, we are the only school in the world that accepts students through an income share agreement in every single country, right? So that's something intentional, that's something we're still very proud of. And that's what allows us to get to people like you, Avi, who otherwise would have missed the opportunity of going through an experience like this. And we're so happy that you are a part of the family of Microverse. Well, what was in your by the way, I see some people already asking questions in the Q&A. That's amazing. We love your questions. Keep posting the questions. Don't post the questions in the chat, okay? Post them in the Q&A, and please post one message per question that you have. We'll try to answer as many of them as possible, okay? So I'm gonna go with one question, Abby, and then we can maybe answer some of the ones we're getting there. And it's like, what is the most important thing you think you learned at Microverse?
I think the most important thing that I would say that it's that Microverse teach me is that how to learn by yourself, like how to learn. I mean, I learned how to learn. So this is the best thing that I got out of Microverse, because like as for I'm sure that like there are lots of people who are joining this webinar, they are already a student of Microverse, or maybe some people are new. So some of them know that like there are no teachers in Microverse. It's just you and a couple of other peoples like you that you are going to do a lot of, that you are going to work with, and you are going to build a lot of projects. but sometimes it is really frustrating not to have a teacher, and like going through the other person that you will get paired with, he might be a little bit better than you, or maybe he might be even worse sometimes. So like this kind of scenario creates a little bit it might be a little bit difficult to deal with sometime, but I mean, those are the moments that will teach you how to do well in your job, how to that will build your character as a web developer, and it will also teach you the importance of perseverance. Like through those struggle, I mean, if you can go through those struggle and if you perceive, then eventually you will see the day that you are hoping for, or you will be able to see that okay, the end results is something that you have never expected to see, right? So it's not about talent, it's not about how smart you are, it's about going through those tough days. So that's what I have learned from Microverse. If you ask me that, okay, if whether Microverse should provide any teacher or any on the spot like a coach that will be able to answer your question immediately, I would say no. You might be you might provide some hate for that, but this is the reality, because through that struggle, through that scrapping of information, that you'll go there, you will go there, and you'll open like 157 tabs to find out that what's wrong with your code. So those are the things that will make you a little bit better. I won't say that that will turn you into a genius, but that will be the important factor of improving yourself.
Absolutely, and we talk about this so often, right? Like if we make the things too easy, then you are preparing people for a job market that doesn't exist. Because in a job market, you're always having to learn new things. You don't have a teacher. You have, colleagues and people who are more senior, people who are more junior. You're learning from them. You're learning by yourself, but you don't have a teacher, right? So if we were to provide a teacher or to give you all the answers, we wouldn't be preparing you for the reality of the market. And that's very intentional, but it can be hard. And I'm glad to hear that if you had the chance to go back in time and choose to have teachers, you wouldn't choose that. That's very interesting. And I know it can be hard in the moment, but it's important to understand the why of that. And I see some people asking, for example, is coding only for those people who are good in mathematics? What do you think of it?
I think this is a very false notion. I mean, like mathematics, code, you don't have to be a math genius, or you don't have to know even, intermediate level of math. If you know the basics of math, and if you know how to search the internet, if you are efficient, if you make yourself efficient in case of searching answer in Google, then I don't think so that you will need that sort, like, in order to perform the basic to intermediate level of activities that a web development developer does, you don't need that amount of math. Yeah, in case of algorithm and creating something, creating an algorithm that will compress your file up to a smallest bit, in that case maybe you need to have a very good understanding of math. It will probably also help to have basic deep understanding in computer science and all those subjects. But in case of making websites, making an application, or making a solution for a problem, I don't think so that it is having advanced level of math understanding is that necessary.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. In fact, we don't even test for mathematics in the admissions process. So I couldn't be in more agreement with you. Someone was asking also, like, how did you understand everything? I want to pursue software development, but like I have trouble understanding. So what will you do in that case, Avi?
I'm not sure that I get the question. Like, how do I
So
understand
how
everything?
did you understand everything, right? Like, let me ask this in a different way, right? This is a very common question that I always ask, and it's like, did you ever experience imposter syndrome while you were in the
Okay.
program?
Yeah, this is a message to all the people who are watching this, is that if you want to become a web developer, then, or even any even a programmer at any capacity, try to try to learn how to live with imposter syndrome, because you have to live with that every single day, every single moment. One day, if you come up with a solution for a problem, you will feel that, okay, you are the master of the universe. The next day might take that joy from you in a second. You'll feel that, okay, you are the most dumbest person in the entire world, and all the other person is better than you. All the other person knows everything, and you have absolutely no idea what you are doing. So these are the constant feeling that you have to carry on in your shoulder, uh, uh, like momentary joy, followed by brutal beat down by your code that you cannot figure out why something is not working. So understanding everything is not essential in this field, in my opinion. Is that what matters is that whether you are prepared to come next day and try to solve your problem, or maybe if you failed in the next day, you have to have that courage to come uh, on the third day, on the fourth day, and give everything that you have in order to come up with a solution. And eventually, one thing that I have noticed from from my programming career is that no matter how tough the problem is, it doesn't persist for very long. Maybe 10 days maximum, or like 15 days maximum. And after a certain point of time, it just figure it out, like whether I do understand what's happening, or whether I find something that that eventually becomes the solution. So losing hope will not is not a good thing in this profession. So you always have to have hope, and you always have to accept the fact that you got defeated at that day. So the next day is a different day, and you have to move forward with all of your defeats, and eventually you will see, probably uh, you can come up with a good result. I think you got muted. I cannot
Yeah,
hear.
there we go. Thank you for sharing all that wisdom, Abby. I couldn't agree more with you. So we're gonna jump to the process of getting a job in a segment. But before we do that, I want to talk about in those days that you were feeling the weight of defeat, where you were feeling like maybe I'm not smart enough, right? And how did you find support to overcome those days? What was the source of the support in your life?
Uh, I think, I mean, as Microverse is a vast community, and it provides you with lots of team member, and there will be a morning group that you can share your frustration with. There is a community that you can post your frustration. There are lots of other people who are posting frustration on a regular basis, and there are lots of people who are coming up with solution for those frustration. So the support is always there. There are lots of people that you can reach to, and they will definitely support you with your query. And also there are amazing people out there in Microverse community, because like one I would like to specially mention one person. He's a former alumni of Microverse. His name is Jorge. And he helped me a lot when I got I was going through imposter syndrome during the interview process of a of the practice session coordinator. And I actually sent a mail to Gabby that, okay, I don't think so that I can take this, I can take this role, or I am not good enough to solve coding challenges. And then Jorge convinced me that, okay, why don't you just attend the coding session with me, and let's see that how far you can go. And eventually, and he provided so much support to me that eventually I solved a very intense problem, and I took the job. So there are lots of, I still in contact with him. He still helps me a lot, and he still inspires me. So it's really nice to see that there are lots of people out there who will provide you support, no matter where are you from, what is the condition are you in. So you just have to reach to them.
Jorge is it's a great person and a great professional. I'm glad you had a chance to interact with him and to get his support. And there
Yeah.
are so many amazing, beautiful people in the community, and it's a community where supporting each other, it's part of being part of the community, right? So we try to build that intentionally. We always go back to this idea that we're trying to prepare people not just to be great developers, but to be great professionals, team players, and part of being a great professional and team player is learning how to help others. And you know, for example, I mean, like when you became a practice session coordinator, so you were helping other people who wanted to get into Microverse. How did you feel about that, and how did that help you while you were helping others? I'm curious to hear more about that.
I think the best the best learning that I took out of practice coding session coordinator position is that you cannot belittle other person that just because they are starting. I mean, there are lots of people who think that okay, if somebody is starting at the age at the late age, or if that person is not as quick or as efficient in case of understanding a problem, that person is not good enough. But it's not true. I had a couple of students in my practice coding sessions. I mean, they started from basically the level 0. I mean, they had absolutely no idea what they were talking about when they have started. One of the student that I want to mention is Steve. I think like everybody knows in practice coding sessions, everybody knows Steve. I mean, when he started, he was like, he started from level 0, and through sheer perseverance and I mean, the way he moved forward and the amount of hard work he did, like he got accepted in Microverse, and now probably he is helping a lot of people in case of getting associated with the coding sessions and things like that. So I think those are the things that I have learned from practice coding from conducting all those sessions, that in order to help people, you need to broaden your mind, you need to be open about it, you should be humble, because you are in a good position. You cannot belittle other people, or you cannot say that okay, other person is dumb or stupid or whatever it is. You always have to accept the fact that if you belittle those people, you might get belittled from those people, because there is immense potential out there. So you always have to treat other people respectfully, because you never know though how smart those people are. Maybe their potential is untapped. Maybe they didn't have the chance to express their creativity before. But like, if you belittle them rather than helping them, it's not it is a sheer disservice that you are doing to yourself, because you might receive the negativity once they will be at that stage, I guess.
That is also very wise. And let's use this as an opportunity to help someone who is asking, I have failed in the test posted by Microverse. I imagine in the admissions process. Will I be able to get accepted to be a student of Microverse?
I would say, why not? Because I mean, like, if you are afraid of like failing, then probably it's going to be a tough road ahead of you. You have to accept the fact that you will fail, and that's absolutely all right. There are lots of students that I have encountered in the practice coding sessions that they have failed multiple times. I mean, they were telling me that okay, the coding challenges are quite tough, and then they perceive through that struggle. They attended those practice coding session on a regular basis, put on the hard work, and eventually they got accepted. So like if you have failed one time, it doesn't matter at all. Like, Microverse take students, or like I think throughout So you can apply as many time as you can. You can attend those practice coding sessions. These are free of cost as many time as you can. Now I think you have started a fast track as well, as far as I can understand. So I mean, the practice coding session, the current coordinators over there are awesome. Like I know Oscar and Kidzia, one of the best, I guess. So those people will help you so much that I think you'll be able to eventually get into the program. So it's not a problem if you failed once. I think it's so minor that you shouldn't even mention that. Like it's that minor of an issue. So just keep improving, and don't give up your hope. Eventually you'll see that you will get into the program if you really want to be in this program.
There are no limits to how many times you can try passing the coding challenges, and there is no negative consequence of failing them. So the only negative thing happens when you give up, right? And I think,
Yes.
I mean, you're talking so often about not giving up, keep pushing every day and again until you succeed. So the only way to fail is to stop trying.
Yes.
And I think, I mean, you have explained really well how to get support while you keep trying and trying. Practice sessions, like all those like elements and things that we offer for people who are trying to pass the coding challenges, take advantage of them. Okay. All right. So let's now talk about getting a job. So, Ami, you're working for this company for Milton.
Yeah.
How did you find the job at Milton?
Actually, I was doing another job before finding this one. So I think I got this job through LinkedIn. I mean, they were posting advertisement on LinkedIn, and I applied, and I went through like 4 interviews or something like that, and then they thought that I'm a good fit for this company, and they offered me this position. So I had to. I mean, the expectation, the most interesting thing is that when I saw the job advertisement, it was so realistic and so down to earth. I thought that I immediately knew that, okay, this is the company who knows how to set how to manage their expectation. It was nothing. I mean, the job advertisement was not fancy. That okay, I mean, you have to get 5 years of experience or whatever it is. They were saying, they were asking that, okay, we know that you are starting, and or maybe you have 1 or 2 years of experience, but if you want to learn, apply. So then, and the team leader took my interview, and they were so generous. The project manager was so generous. Even the CEO took took another interview. And this company doesn't have any sort of hierarchy at all. So everybody, and the environment is absolutely satisfying. So overall, I'm very grateful that I have actually got the opportunity to work for them. And also, I'm super lucky to actually find the job advertisement, or otherwise I would have stuck, doing Delphi and things like that.
But it's interesting to hear that this was not your first job after Microverse. What happened with the previous job?
I think it was that job was full of. It was a startup. I mean, it was not a startup, but it was a very small company, and only one person was in charge. The owner, who was in charge of making all the decisions, and it was not going very well with me. And it was like whatever he used to say is like the last word. And also, when I explained it to him that okay, uh, I, I have I was actively searching for other jobs, he just lost his mind, and he was like, okay, you are very ungrateful. I gave you chance, and you are leaving me. You Because of you we can't grow, and things like that. And I was like, okay, this is not the thing. This is exactly why I'm leaving. I don't think so, but I would be able. I'm open to work in that kind of environment. I need a certain amount of respect. I mean, I might take a little bit of less money, but like if there is no respect in a job, or like whatever I am doing, then probably it's not the place that where I want to be.
I think that's such an important lesson, right? That sometimes we think, okay, we need the job, so we need to get the first job that we are offered. But then we need to remember that jobs also need us, right? Companies need us, otherwise they can't do anything. And even though at the beginning of your career, it will feel like you need to get the first job offer, you know, you need to accept it. Make sure that you are getting a job that really offers the conditions that you care about, that are important to you. Otherwise, like, you know, it's not going to be a win-win, and then you end up having to lose it and then leave the company, and then the company's not happy, you're not happy. So let's talk about the, you know, the new job. And you mentioned you did like 4 different interviews. Tell us more about the interviewing process. Which kind of interviews were those? Were there, like, you know, technical challenges? What kind of challenges? Behavioral conversations? Tell us more about the process.
I think in because this is a very behavioral oriented company, right? Like uh, they values behavioral pattern more than technical knowledge, because technical knowledge can be taught, but all the soft skills and all this other stuff that can that they check for those, they look for those. So in case of my technical interviews, these were like very basic technical questions, and like whether I know the frameworks, and there were a couple of questions about whether I'm familiar with the frameworks and what kind of things that I have built. They saw my portfolio, asked a couple of clarifying questions about that. But that was only one interview. But the rest of the 3 interviews, these were all judging my characters, that how whether I'll be able to cope up with their environment, what kind of a person I am, what kind of expectation they can have from me, whether I'm honest enough, whether the things that I'm saying resonates well with them. So these are the things that they were looking for, whether I'm honest enough, whether I can accept my failures or not. So these are the things that they were looking for. So I would say that soft skills were way more important in case of finding this job than being actually that technically solid.
What are some soft skills that you were asked to show in the interview that you need every day in your job, that you think you got to practice and learn about while you were at Microverse?
Yeah, one of the thing is like whether I can work in the team, or whether I am open to work with the people, because I mean this company is full like one of their businesses to work with different kind of people, because they're a consultancy firm, and I mean they're working with all the top brands in Finland. So if you don't know how to work with people, and how if your communication skills is poor, then obviously this is a I mean this is a red flag to begin with. That like I mean politeness is one thing, is another thing that is absolutely mandatory in case of getting a job in this kind of environment, because respect, I would say that is a very big soft skill, that you need to have respect for other people. You need to talk with other people politely. You shouldn't get you shouldn't let other people bully you, but you should have a certain amount of respect, so that those people realize that, okay, you are not a person that will create unnecessary problem or unnecessary trouble for those people, because they're already in a very high stress environment. They're working with deadlines and things like that. So they will certainly not be open to take a person who can create unnecessary trouble. And also they are also looking for, sense of responsibility, that whether you are responsible for yourself or not, because in this job I don't have any sort of time limit or some. Yeah, I have to work 40 hours a day, but like I mean it's sort of like a flexible or hybrid kind of a working environment, that I can, if I want to work remotely, I can. If I want to come to the office, I can. So there is no boundary at all. So, but I choose to come to the office, especially in the first 5 or 6 months. My target is to show up every single day, work with my team leader, work with the other people. I mean, there are so many things to learn from those people. I mean, yeah, Microverse was the starting point of my learning, but these people, they're very experienced. I mean, the things that I am learning, I couldn't even imagine that I could figure out by myself. So so respect, sense of responsibility, politeness, good communication skills, all of these things are important. Another thing I would say that which is absolutely important is sense of empathy. That if you are if you are not an empathetic person, probably you won't be able to understand what other person is going through. So that is also absolutely important in order to work in in a multinational environment, I guess.
So many people believe that it's all about being a great developer, coding, writing codes. But then I think your example is not an exception. In fact, it's the norm, where out of 4 interviews, only 1 was about coding. And the other 3 were about, are you a good professional with good soft skills? And I think that's an important reminder to everybody to focus as much on your technical training as you're focusing on your soft skills training. And it's really hard to practice those skills if you're learning alone by yourself. So I think, Abby, you talked about, the importance of something like Microverse to give you structure, to give you accountability, but then it's also having an environment, as you were discussing, where like, you have other people and you need to help them and they will help you. And they're coming from different countries and religions and backgrounds and accents and time zones. And you need to like learn to get help and help through empathy and great communication. So those are the kind of situations that we try to create intentionally at Microverse, so that you get to practice those skills that you just can't learn from a video, from a book. So one question that was from Arturo is like, how many job applications did you make before you finally had a job offer? So how much effort did it take to get a job like this one?
I think in case of me, I think I got quite lucky because I in total after finishing my Microverse Microverse when I graduated from Microverse, I started applying a little bit earlier. So altogether, I have applied around like in 50 different places. So out of those 50 places, I have received interview calls from like 7, I mean like around 10 companies. And this was the second company that I like. The first one where I went immediately after graduating from Microverse, and the second interview that I took was from Milton. So I didn't had the chance to test my marketability with other like companies. So there were around like 5 or 6 other companies wanted to interview me, but like I couldn't. I had to send them mails that okay, I won't be able to make it because I have already took this offer.
Great. No, and I think, you're saying that it took you like 50, right? And sometimes it's hard to tell, right? Like you could have applied to just 10 and maybe not get any job offer. Sometimes you need to apply to a lot to get one that is a good one, right? And I think you had a really good success rate, like, getting 6, 7 offers to interview. It's really, really good. I think we see the average being probably closer to 100 job applications before you start getting interviews and good interviews. So it takes a lot of work because it takes a lot of learning to deal with the reaction, the rejection, right? If you are applying to jobs and very often people are not even replying to you, they're not even responding to your application, or they're saying no, and it's really hard to deal with that. Did you have any rejection in any job application you applied to?
Of course, I mean there were lots of rejection. I mean I got like 7 or 8 interviews, but rest of the 42 or 50 places I got rejected from. I mean I mean directly they just sent me a mail that okay, probably you're not the best fit for our company, or maybe I mean even I still get rejection from those company that I applied before I getting the job, because like their recruitment process is by most of the people most of the companies take a little bit of time to recruit their personnel. So I still get rejection or maybe a call for interview. I'm in my mail every now and then that okay, like you got rejected, probably you are not the best fit for our company. The other day I have received a call from an interview who rejected me first, and they were saying that okay, yeah, like I think we reconsider and we want you to come for an interview, and probably if it is possible, like like you can join immediately, and then I have to say that, okay, I already took a position over there. So it's a mixed bag. It's not like I mean the in case of me, I think what helped is that all those things that I have prepared in my Microverse curriculum, that I have prepared my cover letter really well. I have tried to make my project as close. I put some additional effort in case of style my projects in a more like presentable manner, so that when people see that, okay, I know like sometimes it's not the underlying logic that matters. Sometimes it also matters that how good your project looks. So if your project doesn't look that good, but it has good algorithm, it might not capture the eyes of the HR. So I would always suggest those people who are who wants to get called from an interview. I think it's my personal opinion that you should take that extra time to design your like projects, the project that you are doing, up to a certain standard where it looks that, okay, it looks like a website, it looks like an application or things like that, not like a skeleton, or not like something that some like object is overflowing, a button is overflowing from like button is out of the margin. If you do that, yeah, your application is working, but it will not I mean the people who are looking at it, they will not get impressed. I believe that from my personal opinion, that okay, these might be the reason that they actually reject. The rejection rate is higher, that probably people are not fixing those small little details, I guess.
Absolutely. First impressions are important. I agree with you. It's worth it putting some extra effort on making things look good. Your coding projects, but also your resume, your portfolio, like those details make a difference on the initial response rate. And of course, after that, when you have a conversation, you need to show depth of knowledge and understanding and care for your job. But if they don't even give you a chance, because what you have doesn't look good, then it's hard to even get to that conversation. So one question more, and then I have a lot of questions. So we're gonna try to then do like a rapid fire and answer as many as possible. How has your life changed since comparing before Microverse and after Microverse?
I think I mean, if I want to summarize it in one sentence, is that before Microverse, I was thinking that what I'm going to do, and after Microverse, I'm thinking that, okay, what I have to do in order to go where I want to do. So there is a difference. Like previously, I was absolutely clueless. Now I know that I can set up my destination, that okay, this is the place I want to reach, and I know how to get, what kind of effort it will take to I mean go there. So this is the difference between what was before Microverse and what is after Microverse. Before Microverse was like, okay, getting a job is everything. Okay, probably whether I'll be able to work in a development or not, or maybe I have to do something else. But after Microverse, I'm thinking about that, okay, what it takes me to get a job in Google or Facebook or one of those big tech company, where I'll be able to, like, I would love to see that what my skills, like how far I can go. So this is the difference. This is the, I mean, it is the difference. It is not difference in case of lifestyle. It is the difference in case of confidence and you're willing. I mean, you can see the result. So if you see if you see the result of your hard work, I mean, on the spot, then it gives you even it even further motivate you to aim for bigger things in your life. So this is the thing that Microverse changed. My the way I think has changed. The kind of aspiration that I had before has changed. So everything has changed. It's not only lifestyle, but it is the entire philosophy to look at life has changed because of Microverse and the journey that I took.
Great to hear that, Avi. So let's start answering as many questions as possible. I'll answer some of them myself. I'll send some to you, Avi. Let's see if we can answer them like in, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds each and get to as many of them as possible. So I did not learn any coding in my career of bachelor's of computer application. Can I really start from scratch and have a job in 9 months? What do you think, Javi?
This is absolutely possible. You can do it even earlier if you follow a certain structure, maybe 6-7 months, but 9 months is good enough time to get a job. I mean, like if you don't cheat with yourself and if you perceive. One thing that I have to share is that if you think that you are coding, but you are not, those are the days doesn't count. Like, for example, if you are doing coding for like 15 minutes and watched like a series in between and then come back to coding, and then like you are saying that okay, I have code like 8 hours a day, so that doesn't count. You have to give your full effort. You cannot cheat yourself. In that case, probably, yeah, it's more than possible to get a job within 9 months.
Perfect. Which kind of tools and technologies you have learned from Microverse?
I mean, there are so many. What what are the things that how many should I name? Like, for example, GitHub, and all the soft skills, Webpack, Babel, and I mean Rails, Ruby, I mean Gem, and I mean out of my mind, like I can go like this for hours. I mean those, I mean like when you'll build a project in Microverse, you will see that you are automatically learning plenty of tools, because you have to learn those tools, otherwise you won't be able to make the project. So I mean you will learn whatever it is required for you to get a job, that's for sure.
Perfect. I'll answer the next one, which is which education background is required to join Microverse? None. We don't ask for any previous education. If you can pass the coding challenges and the trials after the coding challenges, you're in. That's it. That's simple. Not simple. Avi, what do you think? What is better, Python or Ruby?
This is a, I mean, I think personally, I think I'm more of like a JavaScript person. But like if I have to choose, like I mean, Ruby has its spark, and also Python is also I mean, is right now is one of the best language that you can learn. But I don't see that how you can like discriminate against one or another language, because like both of the language has its own merit and skills, right? Like in people think that WordPress is dead, but like I have seen that there are lots of people who are using the backend of WordPress in such a way that it literally blows my mind, that okay, like you don't even know that it is possible to come up with a framework using WordPress as backend or WordPress API. So like it depends on those people who actually knows how to use those language, so they can create like wonderful things using those languages. So it depends on how deep your knowledge is. So both Ruby and Python are solid languages, according to my opinion.
Completely agree. It really doesn't matter. Just pick one, go really deep and get really good. And there are jobs no matter what you pick. Even if you pick like a really old school language, like Fortran, like you will get a job if you're good enough.
And all the basics are quite the same. I mean, like if you know the basics of Ruby, if you know array objects and string, you'll see that Python has also array objects and string. All the basics are there. So you just have to like you just have to follow a different approach when it comes to learning a framework and things like that. So this, according to me, is like if you know one language, picking up another language is not that difficult.
Absolutely. All right, someone is asking, is it like Microverse? Is it like an academy and then a job search agency? What do you think, Abby?
It's neither an academy or not a job search agency. It's the primary job of Microverse is to provide knowledge. So you can say that it is a school where you will be able to uh, or rather, I would say, rather than using the word school, I would say that it is a platform where you'll be able to learn through peer coding, and it's a network as well that it will provide you with a wonderful community that will help you in case of your learning. So it is, I would go one step further to say that Microverse is a framework as well, that it actually gives you the structure to become like a web developer or a programmer, just like Vue provides you to make an application, or like React provide you a skeleton to make an application or a website. Microverse provide you a skeleton or like a framework, so that on top of that you can build your own application. So that's how I can describe Microverse.
I love that, Avi. So Microverse is a framework for developers to become developers. I think I'm going to start using this more often. All right. Lucas is asking, can this program be a bridge to do a bachelor's degree at a university? I'll answer this one. I wouldn't do Microverse if you want to do a bachelor's. I would just go and do a bachelor's. If you do Microverse is to get a job immediately after Microverse. You don't need to do a bachelor's degree after that. 93% of the people that complete the program today get a job within 6 months after completing the program. So like you don't need a degree. And if you want a degree, just go and get the degree. Don't get into Microverse. Seth is asking, how many years does the program take?
Previously the curriculum that I pursued, it was the time was depending upon how fast a student can progress. So I have seen people finished that program within 6 months, 5 months. Some people take the normal approximate timeline was 7 to 8 months. But now I think probably now it's sort of like a rigid schedule, I guess, the Microverse 2.0. So it doesn't allow you to have that sort of flexibility, which is quite justified. That there were a lot of people who were spending months after months in order to finish the program. So this 2.0 gives you a more dynamic structure, with more deadline, which is which is a good thing. Trust me, that you will not feel lazy, because there is no monitoring. There is no one to monitor your progress. Previously, when I did, it was all up to you. If you can convince your partner, okay, let's just take the day off, or let's just take the month off, then you can take it for go in this program forever, I guess. But now, because of the deadline, you have to commit. You have to do your work and then submit your work. So I would say that it doesn't it doesn't take too much of time. It's just within 1 year maximum, I think you will be able to prepare yourself for the real life world, I guess.
Perfect. I completely agree. The new program takes around 8 months to complete it. You can repeat weeks so that it can take a little longer, but around 8 months, plus on average 2 to 3 months to get a job. So you should be counting off with maybe around a year from the day you start until the day that you get a job. Hey, we are already on time, and Avi, I actually had a little more time. I don't know if you do. I want to be super respectful of your time. We can answer a few more questions, but you tell me, no pressure.
No, I don't have any problem, because I'm at the office, and it's the weekend, so I don't have any kind of pressure. So
It's
can
Friday.
go on for a couple of minutes.
Good thing it's Friday. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Okay, let's keep doing this. And by the way, if anybody has to leave, please do so. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. But because I see way many more questions than what we usually get, I think it's worth trying to answer many of them. Okay, so let's go and do it. Do you have a program for data science? No, as of today, we just have one program for full stack web development. We might launch another program like data science next year, but we're still planning around that. As of now, we're making sure that the current program is as good as it can be, so that people are getting amazing jobs, and it's just for full stack web development. Someone is asking, I'm a newbie to coding. I want to switch careers and I want to join Microverse, but I'm afraid. I'm a job person. I need guidance. Where do I start?
I think Microverse is the place where you can start. Jokes aside, that I would suggest, if you are looking for a starting place, you should attend one of the practice coding session of Microverse. That is the place right now that you will get all the guidelines that you need in order to get accepted in Microverse. Even if you don't get accepted in Microverse, if you continue to attend those practice coding sessions, you will get efficient in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You will learn about GitHub and all this other stuff. So previously it used to be only JavaScript, but now they have this like pre-course module that you will get like sort of like a mini degree free of course. Like you will get hands-on experience on GitHub. You'll have the chance to practice with plenty of students. I mean, those people are starting on the same level as you are, so you will get to explore that world in details. So I would suggest that if you're looking for a starting position, Microverse practice coding session is a very good place to start. Otherwise, you can search on the internet that, okay, look for different kind of suggestions from the people who actually started without any kind of technical background. You can reach out to people on LinkedIn or maybe in GitHub. So there are plenty of ways to find out the place where you want to start.
Perfect. And I've just shared a link in the chat that gives you more information about how to join the practice sessions, how to practice for the coding challenges. Take a look at that. It's a good place to start. But also the application process itself, the web app where you apply should guide you on how to go to the pre-course work, how to go to the practice session. Just keep, going through that process, and that will guide you and help you. Someone is also asking, how can someone without coding experience at all, without knowledge in JavaScript, how is it supposed to join Microverse if you need to pass the coding challenge in JavaScript? The pre-course work is really good, but there's little time to learn JavaScript. I think it will hinder some students and people without knowledge from joining Microverse otherwise. I'm really happy to be here and to be part of the Microverse community. Thank you. And I want to answer this one quickly, like some of the reason that we put the coding challenges in JavaScript and that we put the coding challenges is to make sure that coding is something you want to be doing in your life, right? We want to invest in you if this is what you want to be doing professionally in your life. So there is no way you can know that if you're not really practicing how to code, right? And so the best way to join is to practice for those coding challenges. If you can pass them, it means that you have tried enough to have a final clear decision on, like, is this what I want to be doing in my life? And if the answer is yes, then you're going to join the program and we will provide the framework to support you to start a career as a software developer. But going through, like, persevering and going through the coding challenges is part of the process for a reason.
I would like to add a little bit on top of that, I used to face this kind of question when I was a practice session coordinator, that everyone used to tell that, okay, we used to arrange practice coding session only twice a week during the weekend especially. So they thought that it is very limited time for them to practice. So they wanted us to like provide more practice coding session. But I used to tell them that, okay, these sessions are just there to guide you. They are just giving you the framework that, okay, what you need to learn, what like how you can learn. So you are going to learn how you can learn what how you can solve a coding challenge, how you can progress, but the resources are always there. So whenever you are not in practice coding session practice coding session, there is always free time where you can practice individually. So I would suggest that practice as much as you can based on the guidelines that you can take from the practice coding session, and then improve on that, improve day by day, and join in the next week to check how much you have improved. So if you can solve another a coding challenge without any kind of difficulty, even an intermediate challenge, then you'll understand that, okay, you are getting ready. So that's how you can progress. That's how you can solve this issue.
Absolutely. And then someone is asking, when are you going to launch a part-time program? It's hard to join if I have a full-time job. We don't have a date for that yet. We will eventually, but I can't promise it yet. And it really pains me to not be able to say yes or by this date. But again, we're trying to stay focused on making it work really, really, really well for the full-time students. We know that making it part-time will help. But if we did it right now, we would end up with like kind of 2 programs in parallel, and like that means that we will be doing half as good of a job in each one of them. So we're really trying to stay focused, but we will get there. I promise that, and we'll let you know as soon as we do by sending an email to everybody. Okay. All right. The next question is, what advice will you give for success of the Microverse program for those without a developer knowledge? Can you be successful as a developer if you concentrate just in one area, like just HTML or just CSS or just Java?
Of course, why not? I don't see any like, I mean, of course, like if you focus on just, there is no such thing as focusing on just one thing. Like you cannot just focus on Java and not learn HTML, because there are something that you have to learn. This is a part of the entire process. So for example, if you want to code in JavaScript or maybe in Ruby on Rails, then you have to learn how to use HTML. You have it comes by default. So there is no such thing is like, okay, I want to learn just Java or just JavaScript, because those are the things that is a sort of like a baggage that comes with those kind of those languages. But in case of algorithm and in case of data structure, what I would say that uh, like concentrating on single language will help you to focus. Like for example, if you are going with the JavaScript, then there are so many frameworks out there that you can utilize: React, Vue, Angular, and then you can take it one step further with Node.js and all those backend technologies. So that is one discipline that you can follow. In case of, if you, so by meaning like focusing on one language means that you are focusing on JavaScript, and you are focusing on the additional branches of JavaScript, not like not like only, okay, you are learning only JavaScript, not HTML, not CSS, not Angular, not Vue, or not React. So you have to be prepared for learning a lot of things that will come as adjoint things. Not only Java means not only Java. Java means a lot of things. JavaScript means a lot of things. So, but concentrating on Java or JavaScript, that will make your life a little bit easier, according to my opinion.
And the Microverse program is a full stack web development program where we start with the front ends. We start with HTML and CSS, JavaScript, React, Redux. Then we go to the backend part with Ruby on Rails, and then we combine it all. So the important piece, right, and I think Avi put it really well before, is you need two things. You need to know what path you're following, and then you need to stick into that path every single day, even if some days are really hard. So we at Microverse will create that path for you so that you don't need to be wondering, do I need to be learning more things? Am I missing something important? We will curate, we'll tell you exactly what you need to be learning. And then you put the other half of the effort, which is you need to keep showing up every day, even when the days are hard, okay? So it's that combination so that you don't need to be wondering like, do I know enough things? Do I know enough programming languages? Do I know all the frameworks and libraries that I need to know? We will tell you that. Someone is asking, do you think that with the program hours, like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., do you think that's sufficient to complete a capstone project, for example, or you need to invest a lot of extra time? What was the experience for you, Avi?
I think it eventually it will depend on how much interested you are in with your project. So for example, you can create a light project and you can create your dream project, right? Like for example, in case of the JavaScript capstone, I really wanted, like, the requirement were quite simple. Just create a game, platformer game that will be able to count score and things like that. But for me, I wanted to create my own Mario, right? Like, so I have spent a lot of time, because I was enjoying it so much. So like it was normally a capstone takes around 7 to 10 days to complete. So I took around like 20 days to make that project, because I kept designing and redesigning the sets and things like that, because I really wanted to make it look like a Mario game. So it totally depends on you. You can complete a project within due time, by coding 8 hours a day. Or if you are passionate about it, if you really want to do it, then probably you don't have to ask that question. You just you will just do it. Like, okay, so this is the thing that you are enjoying. It shouldn't be like a baggage, or it shouldn't be like a torture that, okay, you have to spend 8 hours a day in front of computer and then, okay, I'm done. It should be a thing that you might be able to enjoy, and you might be able to continue. You really want to do it, even though you have exceeded 8 hours of your time, and somebody will come that, okay, you have spent enough time in front of computer, just go outside and do something. So that is the difference between like spending 8 hours a day and making the project that you really want, right? So in my suggestion, 8 hours is sufficient. You don't have to code anymore if you don't want to. But if you really started enjoying the process, then you don't have to ask anyone else. You'll just do it.
Yeah, it has changed a little bit with Microverse 2.0 because now you have deadlines for the projects, but we are designing the deadlines so that the majority of the people, 80–90% of the people, should be able to complete them in the assigned deadline by working 8 hours a day. So it's possible that you will need to put a few extra hours, but in general, most people should be able to do it. And remember that you will have opportunities after you complete the program to continue improving and polishing your projects while you are applying to jobs. So that's also a possibility. And by the way, no matter how much we keep talking, we keep getting more and more questions. So here's what we're going to do. We will continue this asynchronously, which is an important concept of remote work, just to allow everybody to go back to their normal lives. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the chat a link to our Twitter account. And I'm going to work with the admissions team so that we can start a thread in Twitter where we will be answering all the questions that we didn't get to answer yet. So please follow us on Twitter and then stay tuned in our account in the next few days for the answers to all the questions that we didn't get to answer yet. Sounds good? All right. So Avi, I don't want to take more of your time. This has been amazing. Any last piece of advice that you want to share with the people who are considering starting a career as software developers?
The only thing that from my personal experience, personal opinion, is that you don't have to be special in order to become in order to build something special. If you can be you can be an average guy, you can be a person who constantly doubt yourself and think that you are not good enough, you are quite dumb or stupid, but you still can build something amazing just by persevering, just by keep showing up to your work, just by not giving up. So if anything that I want to say, like I am not something that I haven't got this job because I am super talented or anything like that. I'm a very average guy, very average developer. But what what my specialty is that I really don't like to give up. I really like to do the work until it is finished. So if you are starting something, my suggestion is that do everything in your power to go through it, finish it, and then regret if you have anything to regret. Probably you don't have to regret, but like if you have to regret, finish the job and then regret that, okay, you didn't do it didn't got any result, but actually finish the job. So so this is the thing that I would like to tell to the people who are listening.
That is an amazing piece of advice, and I think summarizes a lot of what we have been talking about. So thank you so much again, Abby, for offering your time to help more people in the Microverse community. It's been a pleasure learning more about you, and I look forward to following your career and everything you're going to be doing. Which, even if you think you're an average guy, I think you're very special, and I can't wait to see what you're capable of.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story. And I hope to see you, a lot of people who are watching this thing in the Microverse program, and do great things. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to you as well for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, everybody. And thank you.